Welcome to our home, to my kitchen table here. I'd like to talk to you about hospital safety. I want to help you so that when you're in the hospital that you'll know what's happening and you'll know what to say and you'll know what to do that'll protect you and your family. This is very important for family. But before we start, I think you should know who I am and who we all are, so if you'd like to visit with us each week, you'll know. It's important, I think, on the internet that people have certain credentials, or they know, they have something to give you, and I think that's important. Well, my name is Lynn Galanka. I'm an RN, and I have my doctorate in counseling. With me is my co-author of the book, my husband, Joe, who's sitting over there, who is a retired physician, an endocrinologist. And that's Madeline sitting with him, our Irish setter Madeline, and this is our Irish setter James. I want you to know them because they may wander in and out as we do our discussions off and on. And he might bark, because he sometimes is a barker. So, and a very other important person in the room is Courtney, who is my videographer and also my counselor for meditation. Very important because Courtney has helped me as we started today. She came and she helped me do some deep breathing and just kind of focus. I think focus is very important because I have so many ideas in my head that I just want. And Joe's giving me a signal to hurry up. He's my critic, I guess. I'll get to the point, but I want you, when you visit with us, I want you to have a feeling of who we are. I think that's very important. So why are we here together? Well, Joe and I wrote this book in 2005. It's a wonderful book, but you don't have to buy it.
Updated.
Because what?
And it's updated.
Oh yeah, we updated it in 2017. But what I want to do is take this book and give it to you. I want to present what's in here to you so that you can use it. And that's the whole purpose of why we're getting together here. I was very naive when we did this, Joe, when we did it so many years ago. I thought everybody would see the logic of it. I mean, it's logical. I mean, why wouldn't you understand this? But I didn't realize about the media walls and the publishing walls and the medical walls. And I tried and tried and tried for near 6 years, maybe 7, to get around them somehow, around them somehow. Not successfully. I wrote a stack of letters to all these people, and even one I thought was particularly brilliant was to creativity in Medicare. I thought, well, this would be good. Mm-hmm. The discouraging thing about this is that I never got any response, which I thought I got postcards saying not something we're interested in, but I never got a response from anyone for all of it. So I got to the point where I thought, well, I know it's logical, I know it's needed, but no one else seems to recognize it. And then, this was a turning point for me. I got one review in Amazon, never got any other ones. Don't know who the lady was, don't know anything about it. But she said, and I quote, she said that the book was witty, which I liked. That was kind of nice to my Irish soul. And then the second sentence, she said, it saved my husband's life. And that said to me that yes, this could be helpful to people. Not only helpful, and even if I save one person's life, if I help someone through their hospital experience and make it better, that they didn't get an infection, that they didn't have a medical error, that it was worth it. So I went back to the drawing board, so to speak, and we made the new edition, which included a very important part of hospital safety, the central venous lines. So the whole thing came together, and now with this platform, or I don't know even the word, I feel that I can actually speak to you. That I don't have to worry about these publishing houses and these media centers. I can just help you and go directly to you. I was going to do a podcast because I know everybody's doing those now. But Courtney said that that's just talking. But actually I want to show you. I want to show you the procedures. I want to show you how the nurses are taught to do what they're doing. I want to share with you the standards of care so that you have knowledge. And it's knowledge, I think, is power. I think if you have knowledge, it puts you in a more powerful position. The second question is, how can you use that knowledge? And that's where I think I can help actually the most. I can show you what you need to know, but I can help you ask the questions at the right time. We wrote this book, actually, believe it or not, maybe you will believe it, because I was looking at the infections and the MRSA infections and the infections that didn't respond to antibiotics and the medical errors. In 1999, I was looking back at the book, in 1999, the Institute of Medicine said there were 98,000 medical errors, and something had to be done about it. We wrote our book in 2005. Now, I've looked at recent writings on it. It seems that number has got down to about 86,000, 87,000. But do you want to be one of those 86,000? Do you want a family member to be one of those 86,000? I don't think so. So in recognizing my fear of hospitalizations, I don't want to go in the hospital, Joe, no matter what, I thought to myself, well, I'm a nurse. Joe's a doctor. We'll be okay. We can take care of ourselves. But what about all the other people that don't have this knowledge of the system? So that's where this came from. And if you talk to any doctor or nurse, they're going to say the same thing. I don't want to go in the hospital. And they're the ones that are safest, really, you could, if you want to say that. So what I'm going to do is plan to meet with you over coffee for several weeks and not only show you what the nurses learn, but also help you to have questions. This is full of questions. I'm good at asking questions. I'll give you an example. You notice Joe and I don't have a stethoscope saying, we don't have a white coat on. I hate that in those ads, as if we're dumb enough to think that this person running around in a white coat with a stethoscope is someone that has medical knowledge. That doesn't compute for me. The other thing, if you have, in the hospital nowadays, they have the equipment that's specific for the patient, but if you see a nurse or a doctor running in to take care of you with a stethoscope over their neck, instead of saying to them, did you take care of that, or is that got an infection on it, or you dumb nurse, what are you doing coming in with that stethoscope that's been used on other patients? What you say is, which I think is very appropriately, how do you keep that stethoscope clean and clear from when you use it with other patients? You're not questioning them, you're asking a question of the system. And they can respond, well, before I come in, I have these little wipes, I wipe it off, or look I have 5 of them in my pocket, and I always wipe off the bell of the stethoscope before I come to every patient. Joe just told me a little bit before about, they found that doctors that used to come in with their ties used to spread infection from patient to patient. Now you don't see them anymore, all in their suit and coat and tie. That's a part of the past, but it's a principle that you need to know. Another thing is my dumbness when I wrote the book. I just want to share with you how dumb I am, I guess, as far as publishing and getting your message out. The first book we put in was on Amazon, or it was on the web, but it was listed under Florence Nightingale. Now, who's going to find something under Florence Nightingale? Battle, nurse, Florence Nightingale. So we didn't know how to go about it. I think this presents a way that we can reach you and talk to you. I put up on the board, Courtney, can you get up on the board there? I put up the standards of care, communication, clinical instructor, and procedures. And that's kind of the basis of where we're going to go each week. And the first thing, we're not going to take too long, about 20 minutes to a half an hour tops. How am I doing, Courtney?
You've got like 10 more minutes,
time, okay. I'd like to talk about standards of care first. Now, if you buy something, a car, say, or you buy, in my kitchen, I got my refrigerator, my stove. If you're going to buy something of that, you go somewhere to get information. Consumer Report, your friends, the internet now. And you do comparison and you look at recommendations and what's going on. When you go to the hospital, you are buying the standards of care. You're buying it through your insurance, you're buying it yourself with your money. You got to know the standards of care so that you know what you're getting is appropriate. And that's what I want to teach you, that the standards of care for every procedure. Then, if you have that knowledge, then you can ask the questions you need to ask. And I do know that people are afraid they don't want to be a difficult patient, you know. You don't want them to label you as difficult because you're vulnerable. You need help. So I have sort of strategies that you can use to tap into this knowledge in such a way that you're in an ally situation with the caregiver, that you're working with the caregiver to do the best care possible. Say for your mother, for your father, for yourself. You have to have a family strategy to work together. I also did use, and I know I like logic. I really like logic. I used a military kind of model, if there's any veterans out there, of how you proceed. The illness is the enemy. The errors are the enemy, infection is the enemy. So how do you go about keeping that enemy under control and attacking an enemy? You use your allies, you look at the place of battle, you use all the different strategies that any soldier or Marine or anyone is going into battle uses. They're ready to use these strategies. So this, to me, the analogy is a good teaching analogy. It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you. Hospital safety, communication, big with me. I'm a counselor, big. And then we'll talk about clinical instructors, because I was a clinical instructor. Nursing 101, fundamentals of nursing, 16 years. At the bedside with students, teaching them what they needed to know to give good care, superior care. I learned with the Daughters of Charity and the Sisters of Mercy, those beautiful nuns with those big white hats. And we learned that what we had to do, if you didn't do it right, it was a sin. I mean, basically, you learn with a kind of rigor that you never lost. And I hope, not that it was a sin to these students, but I hope I conveyed to them what a responsibility and what a gift it is to be able to give care to patients. So if I can translate that into what we're doing now, I'd like to do that. Joe, did I forget anything? Or I talked about, how about Courtney? I was going to use these two as my questions. I'm so used to having a classroom here. I like the interaction with people, and I don't even know if anyone's hearing my voice now.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is sort of strange for me, because I can't kind of interact, but I'm confident that somewhere out there someone will have something they can use from me. So, well, I think we'll stop